Hello, everybody. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. We have a special, extra little light nerd war because I have my guest from last night, Chris Gore, is here. Hey, Chris.
Hey, what's going on?
Chris, you were
I'm back.
fantastic last night on Nerd Wars. Go check out that episode. But I wanted to keep Chris around for another few minutes because this broke news today. Collider is reporting that the Obi-Wan series is on hold. And this is kind of interesting. And I wanted to have a little mini nerd war with Chris. I want to talk about it. I got a Don. I got Damien here. But they put it on hold. They're saying the crew went home. Should we just stop making Obi-Wan is the question I wanted to ask everybody here in my room. I got Damien. I got Don and Chris. I want to go to you, Chris, because I know you got to go soon. What is your thought on this? Do you think this is actually a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, one, I think it's a good thing, but I think the reason that they've delayed it is obviously because they've seen the colossal success of The Mandalorian. The one thing that you see online, you see a lot of debates about Rise of Skywalker. You see debates about The Last Jedi. No one is debating the quality, the entertainment value of The Mandalorian. The fact that it's like feels so much like old school Star Wars. It's a Western. It's Lone Wolf and Cub. It's so many of the good influences, the original influences of Star Wars. Because I think the problem with Star Wars is you see that the original Star Wars movie was influenced by other movies. The Searchers, John Wayne, Flash Gordon, just so many other influences. And now all the other Star Wars movies are just influenced by other Star Wars movies. The Mandalorian felt like going back to source material, which is why it feels so fresh. And of course, I haven't even mentioned Baby Yoda, right? So here we're not arguing about The Mandalorian. I think that Disney saw the success of The Mandalorian. They said, how do we repeat this? And I'll bet that script-wise, Obi-Wan just was not even close to Mandalorian. I also believe that there will be a shakeup at Lucasfilm soon. No one would argue that the financial success of the sequels was underwhelming. Each of those movies, while they made over $1 billion, they should have made $2 billion, without a doubt. So I think because of the Star Wars sequel movies underperforming, I do think there's going to be a shakeup at Lucasfilm, which I think is going to influence the direction of Obi-Wan. And this delay is costly, right? This delay is costly because they were so close to production. So either it had something to do with the script, might have even something to do with Ewan McGregor. You know, actors do have say in this. Harrison Ford, of course, famously had a lot of influence. Production on The Empire Strikes Back stopped because the original line in The Empire Strikes Back was "I love you too," which would have been stupid. So they stopped shooting for a day, and they talked about what Han Solo would really say. I think when an actor is really tied to a part, someone like a Harrison Ford with Han Solo or a Leonard Nimoy with a Spock, I think that's a good thing. And Ewan McGregor is very connected, you can argue about the prequel trilogy all you want. No one argues that Ewan McGregor nailed it as Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
fantastic.
No.
So
well, and it's
delay is a good thing. What it tells me is there's more problems. And there, I think in the end it'll end up being good, but it might not ever get made.
Well, I think this is a bad fight just because a delay. We shouldn't be mad at the delay because it's finally they're trying to slow things down. And the one thing Star Wars hasn't given a lot of is been delays to make sure the creative is correct. Yeah. So that's a good thing. Where I'm worried though is it's saying Kathleen Kennedy's not happy with the scripts, and that's where I'm getting worried because I share your. I can't imagine there aren't shakeups at some point happening at Lucasfilm to sort of finally what's going on. And this new Hollywood Reporter just also confirmed that apparently from their sources, only 2 scripts were written. Story became an issue, and the entire package has been jettisoned. Lucas is now on hunt for a new writer. It's apparently, though, both McGregor and Deborah Chow, who was fantastic as a director on Mandalorian, they are both remained attached to the project. But why were these scripts become so late in the process a problem? That to me falls on Kathleen Kennedy. I don't understand how many chances you get. At a certain point, you got to sort of see the writing on the wall. You can't work with the directors. You're changing scripts too late in the game. Obi-Wan's been on deck forever. Stephen Daldry was doing a feature film, and then so now the rumors are, well, it's similar to Mandalorian, so now they have to readjust it. How did it take so long for someone to read the scripts and be actually, wait a second, we should adjust this? I mean, Chris, do you think this could just be something that's been brewing for a while and they're already happening and they're just trying to PCly sort of make it seem like less of a story? What do you think?
Well, I think the delay is a good thing because especially if it's related to story. But you're right. I mean, what is the story of Obi-Wan? He ends on Tatooine. He dropped Luke off, right, for daycare, uh, right,
Pretty much.
with Aunt Beru, young Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen. So if you pick up from where Revenge of the Sith ended, that shot, right? He dropped off the kid, Luke, and then what's he gonna do? When does he start calling himself Ben? Why is that even a bit? First of all, I think that's they never really explained in the prequels why he's called Ben. I guess we're going to find that out now. Is it as good as how Han Solo got his last name?
Ooh.
Let's hope so. But yeah, so what does he do? It's him stuck on Tatooine. He was never much of a star pilot, right? So does he travel around the galaxy? Is it just I don't know what the story could be, and maybe they sort of realize like because there was another rumor that what they're doing is they're delaying the series because it's not going to be a series, it's going to be a movie. That was the other rumor that was floating around. So because really think about it, the material's kind of thin. What would you do? I mean, certain Star Wars things sort of like, the mind and your imagination flows like what the prequels might have been or what happened between, what were some of Darth Vader's adventures between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. What happened? How did Darth Vader get this? Was he a Jedi hunter? How did he move up? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, they were.
I
So
just feel like
the rumors are saying the sources saying Kenobi followed the same plot of basically he was a Jedi Master lending his protective hand to young Luke and a possible young Leia, perhaps mirroring how Baby Yoda and the Mandalorian are protective. So they're just saying that it was just very too similar. And what it is sort of weird. And for him to meet Luke before New Hope doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, he would.
But it's like, oh yeah, your old man Kenobi is sort of how they treat it, right, in the movies. But they also stress that what you just said, it may come down to 4 episodes instead of 6, which if they're half-hour episodes, it's just a movie. Why do they have to keep stretching them out into just make a movie? I would love that. Make standalone, cool movies that are just for Disney Plus that can be like TV movies. I got no problem with that. Just don't do it and get it over with. But do you want to see this movie, Chris?
Well, I want to see everything that has Star Wars on it. I mean,
Honest.
punishment. How am I going to argue about Star Wars if I haven't seen Star Wars? So the latest Star Wars, whatever that is. But I am a type of person that I only care about the movies. Really, The Mandalorian changed things. Mandalorian really showed me like what could be possible now with this Disney Plus platform. It kind of opened things up a bit. I like finding out about the Mandalorian culture, right? I like the world post, Return of the Jedi. I like seeing that and sort of defining, like the opening when you see, you're seeing these stormtroopers kind of hiding out, and it's sort of like they broke into some like, alt-right Nazi meeting or something. Like, what's going on with these guys? You know what I mean? Like, so there's a lot of cool stuff. I just don't know what cool could be told, because the point is that with Kenobi, it ends with his story on Tatooine, and then it begins again, and he's still on Tatooine. There's not much to tell, right? There's not much story there. So I think a movie would be fine, but I think that there are other areas of the universe that would be interesting to explore.
Right, and
I think that I really think that they need to tell the story of Darth Vader. We only saw Darth Vader become a badass, or the adventures of Luke Skywalker. Let's see Luke between Jedi and Force Awakens. Let's see Vader between Sith and A New Hope. Let's do those series, and that could even be done. We were talking about before the Godfather 2 that radically sort of intercut Vito Corleone's story with Michael Corleone, and that could be kind of interesting.
Do you want to see them recast? Would they recast Mark Hamill and obviously Carrie Fisher then? I guess at that point it doesn't matter, right? How else would you do it?
Doesn't matter. Just do digital makeup. Cast someone else to play Princess Leia. Don't do a digital Princess Leia that looked like crap in Rogue One. I did not like that. It looked like the deep fakes. Collider does better deep fakes than were used in Rogue One. I was not a fan of Rogue One. I thought it was I was just not a fan of that movie.
I thought it was unnecessary too. Well, real quick before we wrap up, Don, Damien, before I wrap up this mini episode, do you have any quick thoughts to add?
Personally, I was never on board for the Obi-Wan. Honestly, it's for the very same reasons of the fact that like they ended the series and they started off the series like I know Obi-Wan starts out as the old men band, and they end the prequels like he goes there. To my eyes, he just played the silent guardian that just watched Luke. So unless they did it as I had a side adventure. And that will make sense for a small movie or maybe like a mini series event. But then he goes back, and that's all it is. So it doesn't really allude to being a long-term series like Mandalorian would. I actually was more excited when they danced around the thought that there could be a Darth Maul series or, expand the universe in a bit.
Couldn't he?
Well, in the animated series, Darth Maul, there was an arc in the Rebels where Darth Maul was obsessed with trying to find Obi-Wan, and so he can get revenge and have that last battle, which was great. And but Darth Maul was a more compelling character when they let his character grow. Obi-Wan, I just don't see that being a character that I personally want to follow.
See, I'd rather watch that sort of Logan approach if we just see old Ewan McGregor. He's just trying to get out of all, and Darth Maul finds him, and they do like a one last battle.
Yeah.
Like keep it simple, keep it 80 minutes. That's fine. Like give us a cool story. But Damien, real quick as we wrap up.
All right, so I mean, you guys are forgetting that Obi-Wan was actually really good at espionage. I mean, he like tracked down and did a lot of things, and we have a rising republic. We don't actually have the resistance yet. So my opinion is that Obi-Wan goes undercover as old Ben. Yeah, Luke, he checks on him. Yeah, you're good. Leia, yeah, you're good. But we're talking about light speed traveling between planets. He could actually have a series where he's sitting there going, I need to start building a rebellion. I need to start helping out with this thing because my whole order is dead. Like, he's going to sit there and twiddle his thumbs for all those years?
So you're basically like retitled like Bored Ben.
Well, no, you're saying your version of it is Bored Ben, and your version of it is actually just the final battle of a series.
Sure.
So my point is that yes,
which Star Wars is becoming a TV series.
Well,
it's like the Marvel movies.
And that's the point, is that you could do it. For example, between two films in the prequels, we had all these episodes of animated Clone Wars, and Obi-Wan's very interesting character. So is Anakin.
Oh, yeah.
They fleshed them out. So you can sit there and go, okay, Obi-Wan is at a certain age, and yes, we know he's going to end back up on Tatooine, and they're going to know him as Old Ben. But he could definitely go on espionage missions. He could go on building the rebellion. He could go on trying to, hell, he may even try to restart the Jedi Order and fail. He could have a failed Padawan that he has to kill, and Darth Maul kills him. Like, we can have a lot of things that could be very Star Wars-y, completely different from the Mandalorian. He's not babysitting anybody. He's actually like, you're good? Okay, you got my cell number. Hit me up on the light speed on the hologram. I'll see you. I'll be back. I'll check in on you from time to time. But there's a whole rebellion that still has to be built. The rebellion, we don't know where it came from. It just always existed. Even in Rogue One, it existed. So Ben could be a part of that.
Yeah, no, there's a lot more to talk about. And you guys are watching a part of a live, we do this live after show of Nerd Wars. If you guys are members of this channel, you can go become a member, hit the join button next to subscribe, and you can watch conversations like this. We do them live with our guests after Nerd Wars. So thank you for joining if you did. We're going to continue this talk over there and make this a longer episode. So if you want to watch this talk continued, please become a member, hit join. But that's what we got. It sounds like we all sort of are excited for this. Chris, I want to thank you for chiming in on this. Chris, anywhere you want to plug, send the audience your way?
Just subscribe to my podcast, Film Threat, and my YouTube channel, Film Threat, and that's it.
Hit him up at the Chris Gore. Show us your underwear again, Chris.
I'll show you. I'll show you my underwear.
Chris
It's
underwear.
Here you go. Just for your.
What a good way to end.
There you are.
Woo! But it's amazing. Chris, you're the best. Thank you so much. If you haven't watched his Nerd Wars where we debated the prequels for sequels, you can click over there. So please go check that out. Hit the join button to watch the continued conversation. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye-bye!